right, here we go. We're going to do this, and then that's going to be it. Taking a look. All right, let's going to take a look at all the scores from week number 6. All right, let's going to take a look at all. And week number 6, here we go. Arkansas beat Louisville in a battle of ranked teams, 38-33. West Virginia killed Army. Sam Houston State gets a win over UTEP, winless UTEP. Rutgers beat Penn State, a huge, shocking loss. Let's see tonight how far Penn State drops. Jacksonville State over Kennesaw in the Toilet Bowl. Virginia Tech beats James Madison. Cal over Arizona State. Kansas beats SMU. USF beats FIU. Indiana beats Northwestern. Iowa doubles up Mississippi State. NC State loses to Wake Forest. A huge game. Let's see how far NC State. Florida beats UCF. Kansas State beats Rice. Ole Miss kills Minnesota by 50. Ohio State blanks Eastern Michigan, maybe a toilet bowl contender. Washington beats Stanford. Pitt beat Navy solidly. Kentucky beat Western Kentucky. Oregon, number 1, kills San Diego State, Utah beat New Mexico. Notre Dame beat Illinois in overtime. Michigan State killed Ohio. Marshall beat Temple. LSU barely won. Memphis by 40. Colorado beat Wyoming in overtime. They're 5-0. Alabama barely beat Florida State in a game that we saw, a great one. Georgia Tech beat Georgia Southern. Georgia beat Coastal Carolina. Wisconsin 49-45. Toledo beat Miami of Ohio. Southern Miss beat Louisiana. East Carolina beat Charlotte. Texas A&M showed they're a good football team, slaughtering Texas Tech. Texas beat Colorado State, maybe not as big as they wanted. Central Michigan beat Ball State. Arkansas State, the big upset over Texas State. Liberty beat Maryland. Troy beat FAU. Syracuse slaughtered Buffalo. Buffalo, possible toilet bowl contender. Arizona beat UCLA. Baylor by 10 over Tulsa. Houston by a touchdown over North Texas. Michigan, a little late in that one, but they beat Kent big. USC loses to Washington State. They'll drop out. TCU over Oklahoma by 3. That was a crazy game. If you want to see how crazy, 989 yards of total offense. 989. They had 68. They did play overtime, but they had 126 plays. Oh my God. All they did was just keep hurry up offense. Oh my goodness. That was crazy. Crazy. They went to overtime and that also, so that was a crazy game. It happens. Missouri beat BC. Missouri's number 6. Auburn killed New Mexico. Cincinnati beat Bowling Green. Iowa State beat Tulane. Clemson all over Georgia State. Fresno State beat Hawaii. BYU beat UNLV in a great game, and the game you saw, Air Force over San Jose State, and Virginia beat Old Dominion in a game where Virginia had 816 yards. They had 98 plays, 98-67. Just those hurry-up offenses are incredible. So that's it, and now we're going to take a look at we're going to go advance. Let's see as we advance to the next week. They're saving the dynasty there. Don't care. All right, don't care. All right. So Pitt is on a bye week. Let's take a look at the top 25. First, the media poll. Oregon is number 1. Ole Miss and LSU. That'll be the game of the week. That is a big, big game. Number 3 is Alabama. They're going to be at Florida International. Number 4, Ohio State against Toledo. Number 5 is Missouri against Army. 6, Clemson against Coastal Carolina. 7, Michigan a bye. 8, LSU, and Ole Miss a big one. Number 9, Georgia a bye. Number 10, Texas at Sam Houston State. Texas goes up to 10th from 12th. Ohio State drops 1. Missouri goes up 1. Clemson. Michigan goes up. LSU, Georgia, Texas 2 spots. Florida goes up 3 spots. They're in a bye. Notre Dame plays Navy right here, and that'll be, they go up 3 spots. Tennessee goes up 3 to 13. Nothing there. Washington is 14th. They play San Diego State. Kansas moves up to 15th. They'll play Oklahoma. That should be a good game. Penn State goes all the way down to 16th after getting killed by Rutgers. That is incredible. Arkansas goes all the way up to 17th after beating Louisville. Texas A&M, a great win. They're up to 18th. 19th is Virginia Tech. NC State all the way down. Kentucky goes all the way down. Miami is on a bye, but they're 22nd. They're 3-2. The other teams were good. Florida State, they go down from 19 to 23rd after almost winning. 24th is Louisville. They go down after losing to Arkansas. And Oklahoma goes down after losing to TCU all the way to 25th. The coaches poll: Oregon, Alabama, Mississippi, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU, Missouri, Georgia, Clemson, Texas, Washington, Florida, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Kansas, Tennessee, Penn State slips, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Colorado moves up, Oklahoma moves down, Miami, North Carolina, they're on a double bye. How about them? Florida State and NC State drops. For information, Cal, Kentucky, Arizona, Louisville. Pitt is 26th. That's them. The media. Pitt gets 28. Colorado gets a lot of votes. USC dropped. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see the conference standings. So the conference standings right now, first for the ACC, we're going to go hit conference. Right there. There we go. Penn State still number 1. They're 5-1. Penn State and Pitt are up there. Syracuse and UMass. That is big. Pitt does not play Penn State, but Pitt is getting votes. They're on a bye week this week. Syracuse, UMass. You can see UMass is 5-0. That's incredible. Looking, Army and Buffalo, both winless. Total. But look at West Virginia. So Penn State beat West Virginia earlier. The American, the Illinois, and Indiana Conference, Wisconsin, around that area. Notre Dame is 5-1. Sorry about that. Indiana 4-2. Illinois is 3-1. Purdue, Northwestern. So Notre Dame has to take care of business. They're 12th in the nation. They might make it. They might. The Big 12. The Ohio-Michigan Conference. Ohio State and Michigan are the top 2 teams. And, I mean, Michigan State, then everybody else is kind of, It is. Eastern Michigan is a chance for a toilet bowl. So that's it. It's Ohio State, Michigan there. The Big Ten, the Appalachian Conference, 3 teams ranked: Virginia Tech, Kentucky, and Louisville. That's going to be very big. Well, no. Virginia Tech, Kentucky, Louisville. Let us keep going. What the heck am I? No. All right. Top 25. No, conference standings. There it is. Conference standings. And we are at Conference USA. LSU and Ole Miss, basically for the conference title. Basically for the division title. That'll be big. The other division, Missouri and Arkansas, they're going to be fighting whenever they play for the division title. It seems that it has come down to that. On the one side of the Georgia-South Carolina Conference, Clemson and Georgia already played. Clemson has to lose twice for Georgia to claim that spot, but Georgia's 9th. Georgia Tech might slip in. That's big. On the other side, NC State. They're 4-1. Tennessee is 4-1. So North Carolina is also 4-1. They have a double bye. So NC State is now 20th. Remember, they beat Tennessee. And the Florida-Alabama Conference, Alabama and Florida, they're going to play, and that'll be a great game. Florida State and Miami is 3-2. They might all make it in. Who knows? The Pac-12, Oregon, number one in the nation, number 1 in the old Pac-12. Cal, and then Washington. That ought to be big. The Texas Conference, Texas State still leading. Texas and Texas A&M are climbing back up. Remember, they lost to Arkansas State. In the SEC, Kansas and Oklahoma, they will play in the one division that might be for the title. The Oklahoma State TCU has a win over Oklahoma, so we'll see in that game how they do. Now the Sun Belt is the Western League. Colorado's getting ranked. Utah State, they're a team you never know. BYU and Colorado, that'll be big. Utah, again, here in the gunslinging West, where all the teams are big. The player of the week is Mohamed Toure. At Penn State, he had 8 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. He recovered a fumble and scored a touchdown. Offensively, Nate Carter, 436 yards on 43 carries. And that was the big thing for him. The Heisman Trophy leader. The Heisman Trophy, you have James Pierce Jr., who is still number 1. He's the right end. Caleb Herring is number 2. He's another right end for Tennessee. Abdul Carter, he's a junior. He's a right end. 14 tackles. Jalen Milroe in a game against Florida State, 27 of 42 for 319. And he looked very good. And Ulysses Bentley, the halfback, against Minnesota, 196 yards and 4 scores. He's looking good. The offensive players trying to make some inroads here. So that's going to be big. Let's take a look at all the schedules. This is the national schedule. Of course, LSU and Ole Miss. Oklahoma and Kansas will be big. Oregon at Arizona could be good, and Auburn at Florida State. Now let's take a look at all the games. So Charlotte, Mid-Tennessee State, Alabama, and Florida International. UTEP at North Texas, Bowling Green at Penn State. West Virginia and Rutgers, Texas A&M and Houston. Duke, Northwestern, Colorado at Hawaii. Army and Missouri. Wow, you want to talk about polar opposites. Jacksonville State, South Carolina. NC State at Arkansas State. Watch out. That might be unexpectedly a really good one. Illinois and Purdue. I don't know. Are they in the same? They're not in the same conference. Michigan, Central Michigan. No, they are. They're just not showing up. Central Michigan, Ohio, Virginia, and Louisville. How about that? That'll be an underrated game. Oregon at Arizona. Oklahoma State at Texas San Antonio. James Madison against App State. Northern Illinois, a toilet bowl team against Wisconsin. Monroe, another one against Iowa State. Toledo against Ohio State. Iowa Southern Miss, Auburn, Florida State. UCLA, Arizona State. TCU, Tulsa. Texas at Sam Houston. Maryland at Western Kentucky. Georgia Tech at Kennesaw. Might be a toilet bowl team. Rice at Texas Tech. Kentucky at Old Dominion. Minnesota and La Tech. New Mexico and Air Force. Utah State and UNLV. That's a big one. Notre Dame and Navy. Baylor, Nebraska. East Carolina and Memphis. Clemson at Coastal. Miami of Ohio against Eastern Michigan. Could be a toilet bowl team. UAB against FAU. San Diego State, Washington. Mississippi State, Colorado State. Western Michigan, Akron. Miami and South Alabama. Boise State, USC. Oregon State, Stanford. New Mexico State, Nevada. Tulane, Arkansas. Kansas State and Texas State. Big game. Big game. Oklahoma and Kansas. Marshall and UMass. Liberty and Va Tech. LSU and Ole Miss. The game. The game. Washington State, Fresno State. Troy, Georgia Southern. And UConn, Boston College. Great games. Great games. So we already had them. We have everything. Team schedules first. For Pitt, you can see they don't play Penn State. They're on a bye. Then they play UMass. They end up with Clemson, who's number 6, and Louisville. Penn State. Penn State, let's see who they have. They have Ohio. Oh, God, they got Ohio State. That'd be a big freaking game. That's a big game. BC and then Washington. That'll be a big game. So if they could beat Ohio State, you're talking about a huge, huge game. Navy. Do they play Army in this? Dang it. They play Air Force. Navy and Air Force, but I want to show Army, Navy. I might just schedule them in anyway. I don't know. Navy, it's something about Army, Navy. I would love. Taking a look at Oregon. They're number 1. What are they going to do? They have Michigan. Oh, my God. Oregon at Michigan will be huge. USC, that'll be a good one. And then Washington. So, very big. And one more. Let's take a look at Ole Miss. So you see that right now a lot of teams, all right, not that big. Minnesota, they have not played a great team. LSU, they barely beat Vanderbilt, which was a good call. I mean, they did. They beat Monroe 93-40. They haven't played a tough team. Then they play Ole Miss, and then Iowa, Alabama. Then they play Florida. Ole Miss, do they play Alabama? They play LSU first, Florida, Arkansas, Georgia. Wow. I want to see Colorado a second. I want to see if Colorado has chances. You want to see if they go, if they can get ranked. Right, they play Texas Tech. They need Kansas to do well, and BYU and Utah. Yeah, they have Nebraska. All right, that's it for us. I'm going to bed. Have a great day.